Hello and welcome back to the show. My name is Brian. You're watching Game Brigade. And on this show, we do reviews, previews, playthroughs, have conversations. And today, we're doing an unboxing of Wasteland Nights. So if you're new here, please consider subscribing. That's right. I just got my Kickstarter edition of Waste Nights, second edition. This is by Gattaca. This is, I believe, a Polish company. And to give you guys a little bit of history, I mean, not like it needs a lot of history, but this was my first Kickstarter when I came back to backing Kickstarters. This was the first one that I did. And it has been a while. I was getting a little nervous that this wouldn't arrive in time or, within another year, but they surprised me. They actually did deliver. So I'm excited to see what's in here. I package it. I will say up front, I expected another box because there was a lot of stretch goals and expansions that were in this. So I'm curious how they have packaged this, because I guess this is the all-in box. I mean, it is a little thicker than what I anticipated for a board game like this. So hopefully, I believe everything is in here. There's absolutely nothing on the back. I love the art on this. Of course, this is set in Australia, very much a Mad Max theme, post-apocalyptic feel to it, and kind of a cool game. One that I don't have a theme that matches this. And you know me, guys, if it has a unique theme or if it has a unique gameplay, I'm usually in. So let's take a look. So we're going to open this up. Oh, my close-up camera got bumped, and we don't want that coming down. That's an expensive piece of equipment. Okay, so as always, we've got the upper camera, we've got the close-up camera, and we've got the main roll. So hopefully we have enough cameras here to showcase everything. So let's get that wrapping off. We'll make sure we're centered here well. Okay, let's do this reveal. All right. Inside, there's nothing on the interior here. Box is a little thinner than what I normally like. You do have different type of texture here, and you can see that in that kind of glossy look here for the characters. So this is kind of matte feel, and this is kind of that glossy feel. So you can have it hit the texture of it kind of hits you. So we'll set the box up there for you guys. And here we have some advertisements for their next Kickstarter. In strange and remote regions of space, death is not the worst end. So we have a little bit of a comic here. I'm not sure what the name of this game is. The Shadow Planet board game. Looks like this might be their next game. So that's a little insert. We'll probably be covering this on the channel because we like to cover Kickstarters here. So what do we got? I mean, it looks like we got a lot of stuff here. I do know that this has a lot of lore, and they were very much impressed. Like, they were really working hard on the books, like the compendiums that follow with it, and all the stuff for the content for your reading. So here we have a lore guide, kind of explains the game. So you've got Alepht's offsprings. You know, that's actually interesting. So down here it says Alice Offsprings. In 2006, I traveled to Australia and did some volunteer work in Alice Springs. So it's going to be kind of fun seeing places that I've actually visited when I was doing my volunteer work down there. I went to Sydney, so this is cool. I mean, I'm not going to go down nostalgia lane here. I'll do that on my own. But excited to kind of check out some of this stuff. So we'll have the overhead camera checking out some of this content here for you. Oh, we got this beautiful, it reminds me of Fallout 3 there with this aircraft carrier city. Look at that. Cool art. So this actually will go into different gangs. Yeah, this has everything you need. The different cults involved, different machines. I do know that there was experimentation going on. Some major pharmaceutical companies was doing experimentation, I believe. And that's what kind of created some of these beasts and mutations. Like this emu, kind of crazy. Yeah, and then we have mutants here. Of course, you gotta have mutants in the wasteland. So we've got our lore guide, and then we've got our rule book. So the rule book, let's see how easy it looks to read. Looks pretty text heavy. Now, I heard that this game is not a complicated game and that this is a second edition, so they went through and kind of corrected some of the things from the first edition. Total pages looks like we are coming up to about 14 pages, 13 to 14 pages, so not so bad. And then they have a chronicle sheet here on the back. So there's that. Then we've got the Kickstarter guide, the common chaos components. So greetings, knights. I'm not going to read this whole thing, but it says, if you're reading this, it means that you belong to the group of most esteemed backers, and after many tribulations and months of waiting, you have finally received your copy of Waste Knights, 2nd edition. First and foremost, we'd like to express our utmost gratitude for your support and patience. So this looks like it's just going to be, it kind of has like a components list for everything. It also has a Call of the Waste stretch goals, introducing landmark cards. Kind of looks like some of the Kickstarter exclusive stuff potentially. Through the Waste add-ons. So it looks like everything. The scavenger add-on, I should have that. And then, oh wow, a massive list of all the backers. So I'll have to find my name in there and circle it so I know that I'm in there. Okay, so next we actually have the board game. So we have some punch here. So see if we can get a good view of that punch. We'll also have that upper view there for you. Looks pretty good, standard cardboard. I like the feel of it. All right, let's see what we have here. This looks like something that we're going to build. This obviously sticks together in some form to form some sort of 3D contraption. And then this has got, I hate when these things fall out, because I always want to go through this in a very structured order, like when I organize this. So then here we have some landmarks. We have more of these skull tokens. Here we have looks like some creatures and sites, and more of the same stuff over here that we've already seen. All looks pretty good so far. Bunch more tokens galore. A lot of tokens, a lot of similar tokens and some new ones. These are new. Cool. A lot of cardboard tokens. All right, we'll get to the map now. This map is pretty big and pretty thick. So let's see how we're going to do this live. We're going to pause it, actually, because this thing is massive. Okay, we're back. So I got the map out. It's a big map. Oh, geez. I would say, it's a pretty good sized map. And you can hear we have New Sydney, Alice Offsprings. I believed Alice Springs was up here when I was visiting. But you can see this is obviously a different territorial version of Australia, because you have this massive split in the continent. We have the pumps up here, Queens Valley down here. Way over here, we have Carcassville. That's kind of cool. And then I can't see that because of the glare right now from my studio lights. And we've got some legends up here, some art over there. It has a compass to show you that this is technically north, in case that matters. And then down here on the left border, we have probably victory point token trackers or some sort. But yeah, looks great. You can see different roads here. I think these roads actually do matter for gameplay. So it's not just aesthetically art driven. It's actually showing you where the roads are in the game. You have some rivers here, some greenery. So yeah, everything aesthetically that is on the map, while also trying to be building a world, actually matters in terms of territory. So we're going to leave this map out because that was kind of crazy getting out. And we're going to go in here. Okay, so these books, look how thick this book is. The Book of Tales. This is the actual lore book that they were working so diligently on. I feel like this is what was taking so long. So as you're playing the game, you have all of these different scenarios and situations come up that you will figure out how to do, depending on if you win or lose or what your actions are. This is like a lore compendium. Like, I have not played a board game, I think, that it has had this much content involved. And a lot of that was stretch goals. I will say, when I talk about stretch goals, a lot of times I say that, I feel like stretch goals are kind of fake or pre-designed. I do feel like these guys, one of the reasons why it took so long is some of these stretch goals were actually true stretch goals. So they had to do play testing and balancing and development. They also had components here that were community-driven components that we created during the Kickstarter campaign. So they had to implement those and play test them. So whenever you have that, it does take a lot longer for a game to materialize and appear. So, you could have a game that's already pre-designed with fake stretch goals and arrive in 9 months, or you can have a game like this that takes 1.5 to 2 years, but actually have community involvement. So here's another book. We have Waste Knight's Outback Chronicles. So what is this? This looks like these are for the players. So you will write down your adventurer name, what knights are playing, and you fill out your adventure, and you have your notes here on the side. And they have many of these, so you can keep filling this out. So we all obviously also looking here in the box, looks like we have some sort of games tray insert, which is great. We always love games tray inserts. Then here we have the Waste Knight's Guide, another heavy guide. Look at this. And here we have just a bunch of stuff. What is this specifically? So it looks like this is actually the quest compendium. So this is the quests. So it says like here, 45 minutes, 1 player, easy, important setup. And then it's got the flavor text down here for you to read. And then you just kind of go. You play the game. Then we have Trouble in the South, Wild North. So these are all the different missions that you can play on. How cool is this? This game will be fun. I'm looking forward to playing this solo and with a group of people. So here we have the characters that we have available to play. So let's see. Can we have this down here so you guys can see in glorious 4K zoomed in? So right off the bat, we have Mr. Mall Scavenger. Are these double-sided? They are double-sided in the sense that they have lore on the back if you want to read the lore. We're not going to do that, though, in this unboxing. So we have Shallow Lee Slasher. Make sure these are focused for you guys. Dr. Fang. Look at that grotesque art. Look at that. Johnny Taylor. He's a trailblazer. He was one of the keystone art pieces that was featured in the Kickstarter. That is some dark art. You can't really see it very well. Frank, not even going to attempt his name. Strzelecki. He's a judge. Yeah, I can't even pronounce that. We don't do this in like English. That's interesting. This girl is pretty sweet. Alinta. Okay. Spirit Warrior. I think I saw that this was like an Aboriginal. I think that's what her lore is a living proof that native inhabitants of Australia are slowly getting back their what's theirs. But is she considered okay? So I think she's an Aboriginal. Lisa Gomez. She's pretty cool. Traditional character. Zoe Shaw. That's what I imagine a person in the wasteland looking like. Jenny Burns. Man, we got some pretty cool, powerful women here. Look at that. Reverend Evans. Look at that. Nellie Thompson. Stalker. Wargle Mercenary. His name's just Wargle. Look at that frickin' M249 he's holding. That's a big gun. And Logan Harris. That basically looks like Mad Max. I guess you can see his interceptor back here, so I guess that is supposed to be Mad Max. There we go. Okay, awesome. So those are all the characters that we have. Let's check out what the minis look like. So, minis are in this, we have 2 boxes of minis here. Some of these are enemy minis. So the detail on the minis is not as fine as I've seen in other games. He's sitting on kind of a Game of Thrones iron throne, but this one is made out of guns instead of swords. I would say the detail on these are not as fine as other games. You can see it looks like he's got some seam here. It's not bad. Good hard plastic. Losing some focus there. There you go. Let's go to the next one. Here's the priest. Lock on the focus target. There we go. When I stumble, it's when the camera loses what it's trying to track. Yeah, I mean, the detail in person, it actually almost looks better on the camera than it does in person, if you could believe that. Here is the scavenger. This was the early bird reward for backing in the first 24 or 48 hours, I believe. Which, I'm not going to lie, it's one of the reasons why I backed this game. And I try not to do the early bird thing anymore, but every time I do back a game that has an early bird, I kick myself for not doing it. But this is the early bird reward, was that scavenger. Here's this chick. Good little action pose there. And we got one more in here to show you. Yeah, I wish the detailing was a little better. They're not bad, but there's no way that I would take a shot at painting these just because everything kind of blends in a little bit too much together on some of these edges. I mean, they're not bad for having these. Like, these are fine minis to keep as gray bases. And some of the detailing is not, oh, you can't see because it's focusing somewhere else. Some of the detailing is not bad. Like, you can see some stuff here on his knees, some of the wrinkles in his pants. But it's just not as good as I have seen. Not to be harsh on them or anything. Just being honest. Okay, let's check out the next list. The next group of minis. Okay. This girl's pretty cool. Is that Aboriginal girl? What is on that spear? I can't tell. It's so hard to see sometimes. Sword's kind of cool. I mean, they did a really good job of embracing a wasteland. The guy's gun is a little bent up here. That is going to break. Right off the bat, this is so weak. That contact point is so weak that this will break in time. So he will just have a short-nosed rifle, which might not look bad having that break, but yeah, this is going to break in time. You got his dog. Can't even tell it's a dog. I'm really disappointed in the minis. I'm super hyped for the game. Some of these minis aren't bad, but some of the minis are pretty rough. I like his cape flow here. That's good. And to be honest, I don't think I'd want to wait longer for them to fight with mini development and files and prototyping because it just takes so long. That process for creators of Kickstarters, the process of minis is what usually kills campaigns. Fighting with them, trying to get them perfect, because unless you're a major corporation who's done like a few different campaigns, it's hard to get them done right or have the right team. Okay. Well, those are the minis. So we'll put those over here for now. And let's dive in here. So we got a bag. It says Waste Nights on it. It's actually kind of a nice bag. It's got a good feel to it. Sometimes these bags are pretty cheapy feeling, but this one's actually not too bad. So that's a pretty good bag. Waste Nights. And then here we've got our dice and tokens. I do know these are the plastic tokens. I believe these were a Kickstarter stretch goal. Like this is one of the stretch goals, I believe, that was definitely not in the original game. So we've got stretch goals there. Little, here, I can show you here. Whoop. Looks, we have ammo, we've got fuel and health. Here's our dice. Different colored dice and different types of dice that have different results on them. We've got color bases for the players, so you know who's who in terms of colors. And this is interesting. So these are wooden engraving. Look at this. So we know we have cardboard tokens for these, but these are burned and etched wooden tokens for the same things. If you want to use these. Two more left. Huh, that's pretty nice. Just a nice little extra touch. Throw that in there. Okay, and then we've got vehicles. So not only do you get characters to play, you also get vehicles. These are reference cards. So not only do you get characters that you got to play, to get around the wastes, you have to have a car to drive. So this is the cars that you can get. So the pursuit car, that's AKA the Interceptor from Mad Max. A pickup truck. The battle rig, that's pretty sweet. A dirt bike. ATV. So how much you can carry. Not sure what the tire is. Maybe how far it'll move. The camel. You know, this is interesting. I didn't know this. When I went to Australia and did my volunteer work, I was surprised at how many wild camels there are in Australia. You wouldn't think of it. Like being in Australia, you wouldn't think that there's going to be camels walking around, but there's a frickin' ton. And some of my work was actually cleaning lines that they have out there. They've got these lines out in the middle of nowhere with cans, like soda cans, taped to them to reflect in the sun, because the camels will walk into them without it, and they're trying to like keep them out of certain areas. So we had to go clean those lines. So we've got a bike. I mean, it's just another motorcycle. Off-road or Jeep. You can call it a Jeep. Another off-road. That one looks like a mishmash. A sand buggy. Another truck. A lot of carrying storage. I wonder if that's how many spaces it can move. And then a muscle car. Okay. And then we've got a bunch of little cards left. I don't show every card in these packs because there's usually 200 cards or more to go through. I mean, you can see here, that's a lot of cards to go through. And some of these can be repeated, such as these right here. But we will get a good view. We'll open them up and kind of see what the art looks like and kind of what we're looking at here and the quality of the components. That's what we're also interested in. We want to make sure the quality here is good. Okay, so cards have a good, nice texture to them. This emu art is pretty sweet. Scarlet Acolytes. Superhumans. There's a lot in this game. There's obviously a lot of lore, a lot of story. The 16 wheelers. Octane Church. I mean, Mad Max already has a pretty deep lore to it. I mean, the whole series and movies. And so obviously this takes heavy narrative inspiration from that, but there's a lot of cool stuff. This girl's got some abs. That girl works out. The Inquisitor, that's cool. Bloodthirsty kangaroos. Kangaroos don't mess around. They will get you. They will get you. And then looks like here's some events, threats, acid rain, radioactive storm, plague. Man, look at that art. That is some epic art. And then encounter. Okay. Let's see what these other cards are. They're in the same pile. Let's see how similar they are. I said I'm not going to go through all these cards as I proceed to go through all the cards. Okay, so these, see if you can see them. I mean, some of them are same, some of them are different. Hillbillies. Yeah, some of these are same, some of them are different. A lot of these are different now. I love the name, Salties. Seeing my first crocodile, I believe. I think they're crocodiles. In Australia was pretty shocking too. And here we have gear. Looks like gear, maybe some more stuff in here as well. I wonder if this game would make a good game for me to do a solo stream for. What do you guys think? A solo stream? So we have a heavy sniper rifle, a red ray. Look at that. How does that gun work? Your arm comes out and around. This functionality, I don't know how this works. Okay, this says 22, but I'm not sure if I want to look at it. This has got some like question marks. Like, I don't really want to know if I want to spoil what's behind these cards. Because there's a number in the corner. And there's definitely stuff here. I'm going to not spoil these cards to not ruin any gameplay potential. And it doesn't have any stop signs, like telling me to stop looking. But you never know. You never know. I know there's a lot of narrative stuff in here, and those are double-sided, and there's stuff on the back. And I'm always looking out for not only my own enjoyment of the game, but other people's too. I don't want to ruin anything for anyone that might be watching. So let's check out what one of these are. These mini cards. Here we go. Binoculars, metal detector. So these are some of the weapons. I know there's some weapons in here that we created as a community. Now, I can't remember what they are. Maybe I'll see one and be like, oh, I remember that. Oh, man, I don't. These are a bunch of cards. A witchetty grub. Cricket pads. That's actually a great piece of armor. Because normally they're wearing like football pads, but they don't play football much in Australia. So cricket pads, that makes sense. So I'm not going to go through the other. This is so many little cards, and I don't want to bore anyone with going through that. But that's the game. We're always going to check underneath. The one time I didn't check underneath for any hidden stuff, there was nothing there. There was something there, and so We got to get back in the habit of always checking to see if there's anything hidden in the box, because you never know. The last thing we didn't look at yet were the player aids. I always like to review player aids to see how well they do. So it talks about combat. You want to check things, and then it has the steps here. Then we have combat traits. This is what it says, check the traits, and then it has to tell you what those traits may be. And on side we have the night turn, what you can do. You can perform the 2 different steps, which is great. These are easy. I can move, I can camp, I can explore, or I can do a thing in a city if I'm in a city, or I can do a plot action, which is probably with the big book, or a special action. See the description. Pretty easy. I mean, if that's the game, that's an easy game. Like, I love games that are simple. Like, you get 2 actions, do one of these 5 things. Super simple, easy to learn, easy to teach. It's just the nuance at that point that you have to learn. So that's Waste Nights. Good little unboxing. Looks like they got everything in here in a single game, and it looks like the expansions that I was worried about are built into these books. So that's all taken care of. So excited to try this one out. What do you guys think? Should we do a playthrough of this one? Like maybe do a live stream playthrough or a pre-recorded playthrough? We'll have to figure that one out. Maybe a solo play. Haven't done many playthroughs yet. I want to do some more, figure that out a little bit better. So anyways, I appreciate everyone for staying in and watching the show. This will be posted on Christmas Day. I hope you guys are all having a great holiday and spending some time with your family. Again, I appreciate you for watching the show and spending some time with me today. If you want to get in on the Oathsworn giveaway that we currently have going on, there's a giveaway for the $99 pledge level for Oathsworn. We're giving that away once we reach 4,000 subscribers. We're currently around 3,300. Thank you all for supporting the show and subscribing. If you want to support the show and get on that Oathsworn giveaway, you must be subscribed to the show and comment to one of my videos. Today's comment that you need to do is going to be a hashtag Waste Nights. So put that somewhere in the comment section for your entry. If you want to support the channel in other ways, please make sure you hit the like button. That really shows that you support our show, and you want YouTube to push us as much as possible, because that really helps the YouTube algorithm. Anyways, guys, I hope you guys all have a great Christmas. I'm going to take a day off, so you're not going to see me on Monday, but I will all talk to you very soon. Bye-bye.